College football 26. Let's talk about it again. I like having this channel so I can just throw up whatever thoughts I'm having at the moment. That's what I'm going to do with this video. And it all started, I put out a tweet today. It hit me that my honeymoon phase with college football 26 is over. If you've never been through a honeymoon phase, man, that is some of the best time you can have with a girl. And there's some red flags you overlook. There's some problems that you know are going to linger. But for that few week period, maybe it's a few months, even a year, it doesn't matter. It's great. You're having fun. And eventually it falls apart. That's what I feel like's kind of happened for me in 26. I'm now 250 hours in. And I feel like all the things I've experienced have started to add up to where I'm now really frustrated. This is a game that I have enjoyed more than any game I've played before. And a game that I think's gotten me more frustrated than anything I've played before. So I was like, you know what? Now that I'm deep in, let's just talk about it. I think other people are going to resonate with what I've experienced. Yes, I work with EA on some things. You'll see me play early gameplay maybe, or I'll go up to a shoot, but that's the extent of it. I have eyes as well, and I end up seeing more stuff the more that I play these games, and today I just hit a low, man. I'm glad that I can say whatever I think about this game. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I hate the game, that it's awful, because I still believe that it is better than 25, especially at launch. But I do think the number of bugs at this point is just straight up inexcusable. I think we gave college football 25 a grace period because we were just all happy to have it back. The same way I'd give NCAA football 14 all the grace in the world with all the problems it had, because I was just so thrilled to be playing a college football video game, especially with the revamp mod. That was the same way I think people treated a lot of 25, but now that it's 26, they had a whole other year to get this stuff under wraps. And so last year, my biggest complaint with the game was it launched buggy. This year, I feel like it launched just as buggy. And now that I've experienced a lot more inside Dynasty and I've been able to play through different characters in Road to Glory, not just a quarterback, and see some of this stuff that's lingered over year after year, it just gets me upset. And it's disappointment, really, because they took all this time to listen to the community and fix stuff that we asked for and add stuff. But then at the same time, there's still so many things with the game that feel like they just didn't get finished out. That's what the honeymoon phase ending has been for me. Last year, it lasted a lot longer because, again, college football games were back. I'm seeing the game, way too many broken things in there right now. And I just hope that being able to speak on this at least a little bit can prevent another launch next year from this happening. I don't have that big of a voice, but I'll at least speak up and say what I'm thinking about it. Whenever it comes to giving like a full review of this game, I've already talked about most of that stuff a few weeks ago. Like, you look at Road to Glory, it'd be nice if there were more positions. It stinks that the scenario system works the way that it does. It definitely just didn't feel polished. Like, whenever you're not getting a scholarship offer, if you don't have a 10-yard catch where you beat a defender with a spin move, you could score a touchdown on that drive, you could win the game, but you're not going to get the scholarship offer because you didn't do like that exact objective. That whole system's busted. I think it'd be nice if they had the current system they have with it polished out more, full high school experience, and then also you can just skip past high school. They have two of those things right now, but not the full game. But like, that's it for Road to Glory. Once I started playing as a running back or receiver, I'm seeing more things that were issues last year being an issue again. Running the ball, for example. At launch, I actually really liked how it felt, and then something got patched, and then running felt worse. Today, it feels a little bit better to me, but it's just constantly changing. You never know what's going to be heard and what's going to be listened to versus who's the minority, the majority. All that stuff, out of my ballpark. I just want a fun game to play with limited bugs. I sit here and I do fun challenges with this game. I'll do like a full-on tournament with all 136 teams. Or maybe I want to rebuild Hawaii with only prospects from Hawaii. Stuff like that is all I care about. Like, I'm not going to be heavy in the comp scene with the online gameplay or anything. Or Ultimate Team side. I don't touch Ultimate Team. So I can't even start the voice complaints over there. I actually like this gameplay more than 25, which I think isn't an unpopular opinion. It just is online. But I'm also very obviously not just going to say you don't know ball if there's a clear bug that you send to me. Now, there's a difference between two types of bugs. One bug, I'll give you an example, maybe 1 out of every 10,000 people experience. That type of stuff doesn't get me that upset because it's a very rare thing that happens, and I feel like that's just expected out of video games. If you send me something weird like where they do the backwards dunk, where they puff out their chest, they throw the hands and feet back, and they're getting railed on a catch, I can't defend that at all. I see that too, and I'm like, this looks awful. That can't be in the game. I've seen that animation way too many times now. It's the little stuff like that, which I'm going to get to in this video, that I just feel like goes unnoticed sometimes. And I wonder why, because obviously it doesn't look good, or you run into these very simple bugs in Dynasty. Obviously, this isn't functioning the way that it should. If I'm going to the Encourage Transfers tab and I'm searching players by my overall, like I have to actually click it, it doesn't do it automatically, that's a problem. So that's the type of stuff that really gets to me, where it just feels like nobody noticed it. Or you go with like a raw strength offensive lineman and it's so expensive to upgrade them versus any other archetype. There's just a lot of those in this game that I feel like got overlooked, and it makes me upset because they spent all this time on trying to make it better, but then that type of stuff makes it take a step back. So they take like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Game's better than 25, but it also has things that aren't as good as 25. And I've just come to the conclusion that there's no way we can launch with this many bugs with a game. I said it was inexcusable in my review whenever you couldn't snap the ball, coverage flips, stuff like that. The rain games in Dynasty, that's annoying. Eventually that stuff gets patched, and then more of the things I'm running into will get patched with title updates. But this is the final product for some people. If someone buys it at early launch and they spend $100, or they get it whenever it drops for 70, and they get a worse experience than the guy that buys it for $20 in November, I just feel like that's not fair. I don't like the idea that a lot of us end up being beta testers for the game whenever it launches. And you could even sit there and say, well, couldn't you have caught this whenever you played it early? I get how some people might think that that makes sense, but just like, I'll take you behind the scenes real quick. So we go down to Orlando a couple months before. We get to see it for a few hours. That's it. Not a great chance to see how many bugs there are. And what you'll know for a lot of these experiences is this is not a final build. There's a reason in all of the early access videos, we say this was captured on an early access build, everything's subject to change, because stuff ends up changing. So there's been stuff that I've run into during like early access film a week or two before, and then once it actually launches, it's not there, which is why you never know what's actually going to be in the game and what's not going to be there. Most of the time though, before up until like a week or two, we're barely putting our hands on the game. It's a few hours here, a few hours there if I go down and play Ryan Williams. I know with how the yearly cycle works that they're doing stuff all the way up until release because it's a very rushed last second process. That's why if you end up buying a sports game every few years, I can't fault you. That's what I do with NBA 2K. It's what I do with MLB The Show. I just don't do it for college because I play college all the time. This is the only game I play, basically. Anyway, to not get segued, basically what I'm going back to is I feel like there needs to be something put in place that is much better for quality control, much better for people to just catch things and give the devs a chance to actually fix those things before the game has to go public. Because even if I see something a week before and I'm able to write it down and send it over, it doesn't give them enough time to go after it and actually find it most of the time. Some of the smaller stuff it does, but I'm sure there's all sorts of processes you have to go through on the coding side. I don't understand that world. I am so glad I don't understand that world. I dropped out of college because it got so difficult just doing coding with statistics. But there needs to be a window where you can actually get all that stuff turned around and fixed before it goes live to the public. And then they have these inexcusable bugs that are going to ruin their experience. Like someone could pick up the game first week and not have fun, and then you've lost that guy for the rest of the year. Maybe they don't get it early next year, or they don't get the game at all. And it just, I hate to see it because I also see how much effort on the back end they're trying to put in to really listen to the community, to put out these deep dives with all the details on what's changing and what's fixed. Same with the title updates. Maybe they put out a tweet that's transparent, and I also see from the dev perspective how much they care about it, just for all that to go out the window whenever it launches like the way it has. I just feel like there's got to be some sort of solution out there. I mean, this game was wildly successful. If you have to expand the team or bring more people on to make sure that this doesn't happen again, that should be feasible, even though we know how Fortune 500 companies work. They're going to cut costs wherever they can. That might be the line that makes it so I never work with them again. I sure hope not. EA, I'm just trying to I want what's best for this game. I love college games. Please just take this as we just don't want to experience the amount of bugs that we've seen again. I've just caught too many at this point. I can only hope that 27's launch is different, but now I have to go into reading deep dives and getting hyped up for the game, even more cautious than I was this year now, because I said it in my videos. I know I said it because I remember I'd be like, hey, this is great in theory. We don't know if it's going to work. Now I feel like I have to say that for everything. And I don't want to do that. I just want to expect that it's going to function the way that it should. That's all I really have to add on to my thoughts on college football 26. I'm just really looking forward to those title updates. I shouldn't have to look forward to them, though. I don't like that process at all. I know that things are going to end up being polished. I'm playing the game either way. I'm having more fun with it. But it's just like, can we launch next year in not as buggy of a state? That is my one ask. Let me know what your all thoughts on the game are down below. And yeah, I love more raw talks like this. That's what I want to use this channel for all the time.